Today's between the airline jets and the VZ First for the airline jets. Number 13, Shannon Ross. Number 21, Billy. Now, please. Kelly Siegel. Number 30, Erica Pate. Number 14, Kathy Hogan. Number 12, Jennifer Freed. Number 22, Ellen McCorson. Danielle Mishu. Number 10, Cassie Hoover. And number 2, Melanie Hill.
Che tiene, babe?
a very fine game. I think they both deserve a very big round of applause. This time we would like to present the trophies. First, with the coaches, captains, players of the airline Jets, please come forward. Main League Junior High, runners-up, Airline Jets. Now we have the coach, captain, and team members of the BC Vikings. Buddy Webb. Number 20, Ed Porter. Number 30, Robbie Kyle. Number 32, Chris Bagley. Number 51, John Parker. Number 22, Mike Watson. Number 40, Brian Riley. Number 42, Dennis Connolly. Number 12, Matt Rickard. Number 14, Mike Ulrich. This is coached by Brian Gardner and Joe Hart.
Come back, get out. Go, defense, go. Dave. Dave. Good, good, good. Dave, stop. Pick it up, pick it up. Go. Don't give it.
See the ball, Bree. See the ball. Hands up.
Good block, David. Defense, Creed, come on. No foul.
bronze.
All right.
The group furthest away. What?
For each and every one of these teams. I'd like to thank Mr. Tony Kraft, principal at Madison High School, Mr. Peter Brown, athletic director at Jay High School, who are here to help me out tonight as we make our presentations. First, in Class D, runner-up, Shed. Runner-up, Gardner High School.
In March.
Yeah, that's true. Sit down, Kelly. There you go, baby. There you go. Look at how large I look.
She's out of bounds. Hey.
Look how large I look. Yeah. Did you see that? I sunk it. I didn't see that. I sunk it.
Are you good at this, or are you Dave Gifford?
Yeah! Let's go, Weezy!
And I get behind you.
He made score of 63.
Sure, you take some of my shots. No, actually, I'm
Everyone's so nice and quiet.
No, I don't like video games. She loves them. Get her. Get her.
Becky. These guys aren't shy.
Let's go.
Eric.
Why me?
Yeah, you had. Don't break the line, Mr. Bill. Let's see how many dead winos we can break the line. Hi, Mom. Wasn't it?
Hi, Mom, on the Not me.
How you take it out?
He's queer.
Anybody want some cake?
Putting this on for us, we appreciate it. Appreciate all the parent support this year. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Haig. And I want to thank everybody for coming. I'm glad you could all make it. We're worried about the snow, but it's coming on our way.
I don't know.
Good. Let Mr. Wilson have the floor. Mr. Dunn asked me if I would come tonight. Would you introduce the guest speaker? Who's the guest speaker going to be? Great. And I saw her out playing kickball right out in front of the school. She had on coveralls. And she was going around those bases like...
60?
Yeah. And Mr. White was standing on the porch with me, and he said, well, Mr. Wilson right there is our best athlete. And I didn't know Julie then, and I said, well, is that right? You know? Well, I was kind of lucky. I got to coach Julie in soccer, 7th and 8th grade year, basketball, her 8th grade year, and softball, her 7th and 8th grade year. And I could tell you an awful lot of stories about Julie. But I won't tell too many of them. One of the main reasons that I said, you bet I'd like to come over, because I think Julie in school, she struggled just like you guys are with me, you know. She got a little sick of that old-fashioned business once in a while. And we argued a little once in a while. But I thought personally that we came through it not only as a teacher and a student, but I think we came through as pretty good friends. Julie and I have run sled dogs together. Believe it or not, you guys, you saw that today. Julie's driven a sled dog team in a race. We played golf together. I won't tell you what our language is on the golf course. And we've known each other for quite a while and have been good friends. I just want to tell you maybe one little short story before she gets up. Maybe two, but we probably one for sure. All through softball, Julie was a top softball. She was a pitcher, and she played shortstop when she wasn't pitching, and she was doing everything. And I used to get mad at her every practice. Every practice. Julie. What did I say? Use two hands. And I wanted to ask her tonight, because now she's coached on the high school level and the college level. Did you ever see that for your girls in college?
More than one.
But just one quick one. When Julie was in the 8th grade, she was a very, very good basketball player, and she had some classmates who were also very good basketball players. She was surrounded with some real good athletes. And that year, we won every game against all the 8th grade teams we played, except the last one of the tournament. And right in the middle of the season, our winning streak was going pretty good, but, you know, she had to jump up and come down on her ankle, and she was on crutches for a couple weeks. But she always came to the games. And we were at Brewer playing, you know, Brewer Junior High. Some of you went over the other day. And it was awful close. It was a nip and tuck. Julie was sitting right behind me with her foot in a cast and keep poking me at that crutch, you know. And I guess right then it was pretty obvious that Julie was going to become a coach. Because she came down to me at halftime. She said, Mr. Wilson, she said, you know that little blonde girl? And she became a very, very good athlete. Said, she's given us a lot of trouble, Mr. Wilson. Said, why don't you put Sonia Linger on her? Sonia's fast, she's good defensive, and just have her get on her and stay right on her. And you know, me being a coach, I said, what do you mean, kid? We'll do that. So we did. And by gosh, we pulled it through, and I think we kind of won away. So Julie knew then what was going on the court. She knew what to do with people. And look at now. Now she's a top coach in high school, has an undefeated basketball team, probably going to win Eastern Maine. I'm our friend's cause. So I would like to introduce you to BC's only home Julie.
Seems a little odd for me. I've never ever gone anywhere, and you'll see me do this and this a lot. I've never actually spoken to anybody besides my players or my players and their families. I do coach now at Maine Central Institute in Pittsfield, where my team is 18-0 right now, and we will be going into the Eastern Maine tournament as of Saturday night. But I wanted to give you a little background of where I came from and where I'm going, hopefully. I grew up in VZ. My father grew up in VZ. Obviously, all my sisters and brothers did. And it's been an awful nice experience for me to be asked to come back here. Mr. Garnier and Coach, I guess you call him Coach Treadwell. Coach Freeze! I always don't remember as my sister, so I always get the Treadwell on him. But they asked me to come, and I'm very pleased with that. It took me a long haul from way back when. I played at VZ 1973 to 76, a long time ago. And you look back on that, or I look back on that now, and I learned a lot from the people who I had there. Whether we won or whether we lost, we learned a lot from each and every experience. Now, I take from what I learned, and I think that might have been the first inkling that I had that I wanted to be a coach. A lot of people go into high school and even into college not knowing what they want to do. And you'll find that when you're a junior in high school, going into your senior year, you'll say, well, where are you going to college? What do you want to be? And you're sitting back going, I don't know what I want to do. If you know that now, you're awful lucky. And if you know that then, you'll be lucky as well. I have always known. I've always wanted to teach first and coach as well. And I've been given a great opportunity at MCI. I went from VZ and played at Orono High School. I played 4 years there and started as a freshman, which is becoming more and more frequent because of the athletes that are coming out of the junior highs. I'll have to mention my niece Jennifer, embarrass her or not, I'm going to mention her. I was never more proud than to go to the VZ game the other day, to see my niece play and wear number 12 and all that. It was great. But the games now are so much better, or so much more intense. I don't know. It's just I couldn't sit down, I couldn't be quiet, I couldn't do anything. But to go into high school is another step. And Mr. Garnier, when he and I talked over the phone, he wanted me to try to give some of you an idea of what it's like to play at the high school level, and then maybe a little bit on the college level. I, as a basketball coach, expect many things from my players. The first and foremost of that is dedication. I don't know if many of you read the paper, but you'll see there many times under the basketball game, so-and-so was on probationary this or that, or we've been out for 2 or 3 games because of disciplinary reasons. I've had to do that as a coach. I have very strict curfews. I have very strict drug and alcohol related issues that I make my players adhere to. How long is your practice? About an hour and a half. In high school, at least in my experience as a coach and what I expect, my players practice a minimum of an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. They lift weights 3 days a week, and they're expected to be in their house by 9 o'clock every night. On game nights, they must be in bed by 10. Now, to some of you, that doesn't mean a lot. But when you have a game on a Saturday night and there's a dance on Friday night, something's got to give. And that's where your dedication comes into play a little bit. It's a little bit different now because you're involved in all kinds of different things. But at the high school level, and even more at the college level, there's got to be a lot of decisions made on your part. A lot of you have been very successful at VZ, and that is a tremendous thing to have and to be very proud about. Now your decision is, am I going to go on it, and do I want to play? Do I want to be a cheerleader? That's the big decision now. Cheerleading used to be not that big of a deal in high school. I know at our school, our cheerleaders practice every day, 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. And if you're not willing to make that sacrifice, then you're not willing to be a part of a team, and I believe cheerleaders have that team as well. When I played in the college level, dedication or the time frame increases. I practiced 3 hours a day, not including lifting. We had what we called chalk talks 3 nights a week, and we had academic meetings once a week. College level is even that much more intense. And now you're talking about people who are 20, 21, 22 years old. They're legal to go to Legends and sit down and have a beer, but they've got to make that decision. And those decisions have to be made at all levels. And I think now you need to, getting into the spring, some of you are going to play baseball and softball and all that, decisions have to be made. I know my kids, they've been going since the 1st of November. Now we're getting into February, and if they go as far as I feel they can go, they're going to be going into March playing basketball. Now that's a lot of time to have to deal with me. 2 hours a day having to deal with me. And I appreciate them, and I think they know that. But you have to make that decision. Don't think you're going to go to high school and maybe do some of the things you do now. My kids that play for me have to show me their grades once a week. And if we have effort grades. You know what I mean by an effort grade? If your grade is 65, your effort grade could be an A, meaning you're doing whatever you can possibly do, but you might not be able to grasp things as well as other people, which is fine. I don't even look at the numerical number. I look at effort. If I have players who are in that A and B category, no problem. I don't believe an athlete should be average. I don't believe they should try the same as another person. I think athletes are honored. Athletes get to travel to other schools. Athletes get to wear the nice uniforms. Athletes get to have banquets like this. Other people do not. And I feel as part of being a high school basketball team, they need to show respect to their teachers. They need to show respect to themselves as far as what they put into their bodies, food-wise, as well as the decision on alcohol and drugs, as well as sleep. The big thing for my team in the last week is to make sure they have got plenty of sleep. What I'm trying to say here is you have a lot of decisions to make. Being a part of athletics is not just going out and dribbling a basketball for a couple hours a day. There's a lot of things that come into it. And as you go into high school, you need to make sure that you think about that before you decide to take part in that endeavor. I wanted myself to talk a little bit about what it was like for me. I grew up with a family of 5 children. I was the youngest, so of course I was picked on all the time, especially by my eldest sister. But I had 2 brothers. 2 brothers that did a lot for me. My brother Jay, and I think some of you might know my brother Jay, he let me tag along. You know, he was my big brother, but he let me tag along, and I think I was the only person that could catch his curveball too, so that had a little bit to do with it. But he and I, and his friends, and some of my friends, used to do a lot of things together. When I got into VZ and started playing, my parents would have people come up to me and say, well, you know, if you went to Hamden, you know, she could play for the Broncos, and oh, there's plenty of nice places in Hamden to live. I was supposedly the best thing that VZ had to offer as far as a girls' basketball player. But then I went to high school, and I very quickly got shown and verbally got told that I wasn't as good as probably what I thought and what other people thought. My coach, who now is the principal at a high school that I coach against, used to describe me as having what they call the VZ reach. And I don't know if you know what that is, but I'm sure all your coaches say, play defense with your feet. Well, I used to like to put my hand in there an awful lot, and my coach used to call it the VZ reach. Well, for my first year, my freshman year, in which I did start at the high school level, which was it was odd at that time anyways. Now it is not as infrequent, I guess. But I did play a lot, but I also get yelled at more than I ever had in my life. If my mother yelled at me that much, I don't know what would have happened, but this man, and first thing I said was, he hates me. He must just not like me at all. And as it came out, he saw that he could show me some things that would make me a better player. Through my high school career, I had many ups and downs and injuries here and there, but I learned that you could play the game of basketball and play it in a way that you didn't always have to be the scorer. In junior high, I would steal and score and pass and get it back and score some more. In high school, that's not the way it was. I still had the ability, maybe a little bit more speed than other people, so yes, maybe I could go by them. But when it came time for me to get my 5th foul, it was not much fun sitting on the bench. So I learned a lot from my high school coach, and he showed me that if I worked hard, I could go beyond. I went into college at the University of Maine in Orono, and again was showed that I wasn't the best player again. In high school, I might have been, but in college, I was one of a lot of very good players. At the University of Maine, when you go there, out of the 12 people on that team, probably 11 of them were the best player from their team. So now, all of a sudden, I was one of 12. And I was kind of lost for a while. Coming out of high school, I was only probably about 120 pounds, which was light for what I needed to be a Division I basketball player. I worked on the weights, got a little bit more weight in a lot of areas I wish I didn't, but kind of hard to get rid of now. But I was much better my sophomore and junior and senior year. One of the best things and one of the things that I was most proud of is my senior year I was given a full scholarship. Something that I never really dreamed that would happen to me. But being given that was again another honor that I felt I had to make sure I did my best. And again, I was 21 years old. I had to decide whether I was going to go out every Friday and Saturday night or whether I was going to be dedicated to the team and to the university that had given me and paid me to go to school there. All this is pretty much based on some decisions. And again, getting back to what I said before, you're going to be confronted with some decisions that only you can make. My parents were very, very much behind anything that I did athletically. But if it wasn't for them wanting me to do well academically, then I wouldn't have become what I am today. I also graduated. One of my other proudest moments for myself, I graduated with distinction, meaning academically I had done a good job. And that's something you should be proud of as well. The last thing I'd like to talk about, I guess, is being proud. I am a very proud person in what I've accomplished, but there's so many people that have helped me get there. Mr. Wilson started it, and my sister Rosemary is always there whenever I need anything. And the thing that I would like to say the most is, be proud that you're from Veazie. When I went to the University of Maine, and they wanted to know where I was from, I wasn't from Orono High School. I wasn't from Orono. I was from Veazie. And I think that you need to make sure that when people ask you that, don't be afraid to say that. Just because it's a small town doesn't mean that people don't know where it is and shouldn't learn where it is. We have some very good people that have come from Veazie and have gone a long way. Jeff Topliff played at the University of Maine. Chris Watson played at Huston College. Sandy Wadley played at Orono. Her brother, Randy, played at Huston. You had Chris Roy and Hillary Roy. Hillary Roy is probably one of the best track people in the state of Maine. Soccer. She just got a big award in soccer. All of these people came from Veazie. And I can be sure that when they're asked, they say that. And whenever I'm asked, whether it is in a situation like this or whether I go away somewhere, I will always be from Veazie, Maine. Thank you very much.
Eric.
And Coach Freeze, both of you.
I wonder what it is.
Very much.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much.
I want to kiss.
Kyle. Yeah. I'm not good at pins.
Do you want to put it on?
Better in the cash.
You guys want a picture? Can you guys stand back up so I can get a picture? I want a picture. Guys? I'll just hold it.
Well, I don't have a lot to say. I think we had a real positive season. I think primary goal that I went into the season with, my own personal goal, was to teach a few kids a little something about basketball and prepare them for, hopefully, for bigger and better things. It's a big step. Julie was telling you, it's a big step from junior high basketball in high school, even to a freshman program. Play with your feet. I hope you dream that, guys. Because you can make all the baskets in the world, but if you can't stop the other team, you're not going to win the game. You got to play defense. I think we proved we could play some good defense this year. You guys really played some tremendous defense. Improved a great deal over the season. That's first award I want to give tonight. This is an award that I think is pretty special to me. I was never much of an offensive player myself. Prided myself on my defense, worked hard. I expect nothing but the best from any player I coach. I don't know how many times I said it in practice. Shoot all you want, but I'm going to put the 5 best defensive ball players on the floor. And that's how I believe in winning. This kid right here started with very little. Not very little in athletic ability, but not much basketball. Not much basketball experience. And he came a long ways. When we went into a game, there were a few things that I was thinking. And one thing was, I want this kid to be on the floor the whole time. I needed him out there. And he did quite a job defensively on some very, very tough competitors. At 5'7", and that might be giving him an inch. He played kids all the way up to just about 6 feet, I'd say. Some real good basketball players. If you ever want to find out how to box out, you just ask this kid. He'll show you, and then he'll help you up off the floor afterwards. Buddy Webb. Good luck in hockey in high school. Hope you remember the basketball. Second award. By the way, these were all pretty tough. We had a lot of good ball players. Very proud of everybody, and very proud of all the improvements that everybody made. I think everyone took a big step forward. No question in my mind. And one of the ways in which we took a big step forward was defense. I already said that. Was attitude and discipline. Can't stress discipline enough. Get out in that basketball court. If you're not doing the things that you're told to do, that you're taught to do in practice, then as a team you just don't function. You can't go out and play one-on-one all night because they're going to figure it out. And they're gonna help. Everyone knows what help defense is. They're gonna help at the right time. They're gonna shut you down, take the ball right away from you. One kid who made exceptional gains in attitude, discipline, also proved to be an excellent offensive basketball player. It took him a while to prove it to me. I didn't believe it at first, but there's no question in my mind. This kid's got a great set of hands, excellent floor vision, sees the floor well, dribbling down the court, sees everybody. A lot of people dribble down the court and they see one person and they look and they make that pass. This guy dribbles down the court, he looks this way, but he's seeing the guy over here that's open under the basket. He makes that pass. And that's one of the things you need to do to be a good basketball team. Like I say, just one of the outstanding offensive players in the league, in my opinion, Tony Staffieri.
close. Right there, right there.
Also, a very nice dresser, Tony. Very nice. Next award I'm going to give is an MVP, Most Valuable Player. This is a student athlete that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt he has the ability to do anything that you ask of him. Once again, we're going into a big game, going into any game, and I look out in the court at the other team. I don't watch my team warm up. I already know how they play. I don't need to see them missing layups. I look down at the other team, and I'm watching them. Watching their moves, watching how they handle the ball, watching how they carry themselves, and you can tell who the good players are and who they aren't. You can pick them out right from the starting line. We call the players over the bench, and I have to decide who's going to play defense on who. And there's not a better defensive player in the league. No way. Nobody quicker. Nobody works harder when he gets it going. Not to mention excellent jumping ability, which really impressed me. Very nice. He's a go-to guy. Get on the ball, let him penetrate, put it up. He'll get 2 or 3 rebounds, and then he'll put a bunny in. So that's all right. It's a real nice job. One of the best players in the league, without a doubt. Here.
No, wait, stop.
I saved this one for last because defense is very important. Offense is very important. As we all know, it's important to have a most valuable player. You got to have somebody there to go to. But more important than any of these things, more important than anything else in basketball court, more important than anything else in athletics, is attitude. This is a coach's award, and you look at all the great teams that you've seen in the past. At least I do. I'm sure that anyone that's been around at all can tell you the same thing. The best teams aren't necessarily the teams with the best athletes. Teams who win the big games aren't necessarily the teams with the best athletes. That's not true. Teams who win the big games, teams who will go on to be champions, are the teams with the best attitude. Kids with the most guts, people that want it the most. We finished 8-7. Not something to write home about, but certainly something to be proud of. Because all those wins came from guts. We played hard. This student right here didn't get a lot of breaks this year, but he played some good basketball. He had a great attitude. He's out there having fun. He's out there working hard, which is what you look for as a coach. I take a team full of this type of kid, and I'd win a championship, I guarantee it. Because they're willing to work, they're willing to put the extra effort in, and they'll do what you tell them to do, and work as a team. Some of you might not know who this is going to. Coach's Award for 1989-90, Eddie Porter. Asking in Florida, as I'm told. Eddie did a real nice job. I'm real proud of everybody. I'd like to mention the 6th graders as well. 3 6th graders that we took with us to all the games. Took some lumps, took some elbows. We knocked down a few times, but they came up kicking. That's good. Matt came up fighting once or twice, I remember. Yeah. And I'd like to say a little something to 7th graders, who happen to be an excellent group of athletes. looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to a very successful season. John needs to grow a few inches, and then we're going to be in pretty good shape. Very happy with how the season turned out. Appreciate your effort. Nice job.
Well, now I have to talk. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't like giving awards. This was the worst part of the whole season for me. If I could have given a trophy to each and every one of you, that would have been great. But having to pick only 4 is the hardest thing I've ever done. I want you to know that I took a lot of time in this. I took a lot of sleepless nights. I'm not a coach. I did this because I wanted the girls to have some consistency. I wanted them to learn the basics of basketball. And if we won some games, that was great, and we did win some games. But as far as being able to pick these, this was tough. I had to get outside help. I couldn't do it myself, I want to tell you right now. But I hope you'll understand that I could only pick 4 out of 13, and I did the best I could. That's all I can say. Defense. That was a toughie. We played some awful tall teams, as you well know. And I'd have them come up to me and say, Coach, I can't take that girl. She's 3 feet taller than I am. And I'd say, that's the way it goes. This person did an outstanding job for me. She was constantly in the game. I was worried sick about her because I figured for sure that she'd be rushed to the hospital and there would go everything. Several times when she got hurt and she came to my bench, I thought, oh God, here we go. We'll have to have more operations and it will all be my fault. Every time I put her in, I thought, oh, please just let her get through this game so that we can have another game. She is definitely a leader. People looked up to her. I had very little problem with her during the year as far as taking on the leadership role. She played her best games when her father was present, I think, but I wish he'd come to all the games. My outstanding offensive player would be Erica.
Oh, wait a second, Ricky.
Congratulations, Erica. Stop! Oh, wait, I gave you the wrong trophy, that's why. There you go, they were in the wrong one.
Erica.
Good job, Erica. Okay. So the next one is outstanding offense. This person was my hardest person to reach. If the 2 of us were having a good day, it was wonderful. If the 2 of us were having a terrible day, it was terrible. A lot of times, I know I needed her on the court, and I took out someone that I probably shouldn't have because I needed her in the game. She made things happen. She made good passes. She had knowledge of where the ball was supposed to go. She had her share of rebounds. She probably hated me after practice just about every night, but to be an offensive player isn't necessarily the person who has scored the most points. It isn't necessarily the person who brings the ball down. It isn't necessarily the person who makes the best passes. It's a combination of all of them. And this year's outstanding offensive player is for Becky. Some days you might have, though.
Stop right in the middle. Stop.
This was my hardest one right here. I fought with this forever because the most valuable player is hard to pick. I hope you all understand that this was the hardest thing for me to do. And I had to look at everything. I couldn't just take who scored the most points, and I couldn't just take who made the best passes. I really had to look at an overall player. And there will be those of you that don't agree with my decision. And there will be those of you who will say, I know why that person got that award. And that's the way you're going to have to accept me. But what I had to do is I had to look at who, if I had to take out of the game, would hurt us the worst. I had to use my judgment. I had to use the knowledge of other coaches. I had to use fellow players. And I did the best I could. And this year's most valuable player is Jennifer. And I really think she earned that. Now, this is my favorite award. This was no contest. Really. This person was there for me all the time. On the court, off the court. I asked her to do something, she did it. I asked her to talk to somebody, she talked to them. I asked her to explain something, she explained it to them. Like Mr. Gagne said, if I could have had 13 of this person right here, I would have taken who knows what, state championship, whatever else. I only wish she'd stay with me for the next 2 years at least, because I really could use her on my side. Coach's Award is very special to me because it was an award that I really didn't have too much problem with. This year's Coach's Award goes to Heather Friedman. As I said before, I wish I could give you all an award because it was fun for me. Unfortunately, I can't. You will get a certificate. Everyone will get a certificate of participation. And I just want to thank you all.
Well, I guess it's my turn now. I've done this before, so I know what Rose has gone through, and I know what Mr. Gagne although you probably could use it sometime. I appreciate the fact that you got most of the games and so on. But we chose, Rose and Mr. Gagne have said it. Even at this level, it's stressful coaching, and it's the kid that gives you that 110% all the time. And I know sometimes we make them off a little ugly and a little grumpy and so on, but it's the kid that without question does what you ask him to do, and they'll do it to the best of their ability. And they are the ones that get the Coach's Award. So this year, this goes to the young lady that was the only 7th grader that came out for cheerleading, but she gave us 110%. Kendra?
Belts on the way home.
We have something
Be
to add.
Guys,
That's something to add. An appreciation for the hard work, the coaches, putting up with all the players and the problems.
Thank you very much.
I wrapped it.
No, his mother wrapped that. Appreciate it.
Open it.
We're gonna get
Christmas.
Oh my goodness, isn't that cute? Thank you. Oh, thank you. Open it!
You
good. Plenty of training in that category.
Oh, I can't.
You're not going to shoot.
Mr. Barney, oh, it says right now. Next.
Next.